common interests aren't actually a good indicator of whether or not you're going to be married. So I went to the matchmaking conference last year. There you go. Matchmaking conference last year. So values, they're about, I have lost this paper in my move. And so I can't wait to go back to the matchmakers conference next week and find all of this. But um, there are basically like 5 to 8 things that are actually a healthy indicator of marriage. And so they're financial, family, socioeconomical values. Politics is actually not one of them, believe it or not. But a lot of people say that interest is one of them. So I have people all the time who say, oh, I want a similar interest. I'm like, great. Andy and I both love to podcast. That does not mean we're meant to be married. And so you kind of realize in the midst of it, okay, what is the actual value that we hold? Like Andy loves to podcast because he enjoys meeting cool and interesting people and wants to constantly grow. I want to constantly grow. That's when you can say we have similar values. But I think we keep mistaking interest for values, and they're not the same thing. And they don't indicate long-term compatibility.
Yes. I love this. That synthesizes a feeling I've had, because people, when they're dating, they like to run. They want a runner to date. And it's like, sweet. But that, to me, has anecdotally never seemed to drive long-term relationships. So it's values that drive long-term relationships, not interests. That makes total sense. Shocking that politics isn't on there. I would have thought for sure that would have been.
So the politics, what you can take from politics is the values. So I have some people who say, I care very strongly about, I am one way or the other. And I say, okay, great. Explain to me why you're one way or the other. So for example, if you don't agree with something on Catholic Church teaching, or let's say I have a gentleman who his biggest thing is that he really cares about refugees. And that's why he kind of feels that he's one way versus another. And I said, okay, talk to me about that. He said, I just think we should really care about life at all stages. And that to me includes kind of the untaken care of, all of those things. Well, here's the deal. If he told me I'm purple and I go, well, I don't like purple, I'm going to immediately write him off. But if I said, hey, could you just explain to me like why you came to that conclusion? Well, I really care about the unforgotten. Oh, I actually care about the unforgotten and have felt that way growing up. Now we have similar values and we can build a healthy relationship.
That's a great way to peel back the layer instead of just labeling everyone Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. What does that mean to you? That's a great follow-up question. Whether they agree with you or not, whether you think your label aligns with theirs, what does that mean to you? And you dig to find commonality.
And women don't really care most of the time, men. So just like take your opinions and save them for later in life. Because my husband early on, I realized how extreme one way he was. And I told him on probably one of our first 5 dates, I said, be real with you. I don't care that much. So if this is something that's really important to you that we're going to be able to talk about, okay, I'm not going to want to talk about it with you. Pick a friend. And so he went, my wife and I are aligned on how we feel. I care about this and she does not. Where's the bid? Madigan goes, I hear you. I appreciate your perspective. I don't want to continue this conversation, not because I don't love you or agree, but this just isn't a conversation that I enjoy. And so now he goes and he talks about politics with all of his friends, which is kind of more rightly ordered anyway. And I just get to go be a sweet little housewife who goes, tell me what I need to know in the news. Great. Thanks. Let's keep moving.